Hello everyone, we are back again with another video. This video is about a interview question that I asked to many candidates frequently, and I see that they are failing to answer this question because most of the time I see that they are claiming that they know a lot about Kubernetes, but they don't know basics of it. So I go through the basics and I test the candidates on the basis of uh, basic questions only. So in this question, we will be seeing that how a request is traveling from a Kubernetes cluster to internet. Basically, when a pod is making some API calls or doing some uh, DNS resolution of a public endpoint, and that IP that public IP is not available inside your Kubernetes cluster, then how Kubernetes is resolving that IP? Basically, how that request is served. So here I have draw a simple picture where you can see that we have a pod which is running on a node, and that node is registered with a Kubernetes cluster. I am assuming that this Kubernetes cluster is one of my EKS cluster because uh, the EKS cluster I have used for my this tutorial or the experiment. And also this Kubernetes cluster is in a VPC or maybe in a region. Okay, and this node is running on some subnets of that VPC, and as you know that every pod in the Kubernetes cluster has some IP. Some IP means at least a IP, and having a IP means the pod has a network interface. Also node also has a IP. That means network is also having a network interface. Also, I have not created everything in this picture, like there must be subnets as well, there must be route tables as well. So I have not created in this picture, but I will be explaining that in a detail. So coming to the point, let's break down this scenario step by step. So if we do a curl request to the google.com, or we do just ns lookup of google.com from a pod, that means the request is being initiated from a pod. Then what will happen in the first step? So first of all, when we just hit google.com, then kubedns, which is the DNS resolver inside Kubernetes cluster, will check what is the destination IP for this domain name. Basically, this is how DNS works in simplest form. You can understand. Okay, so anywhere the DNS resolves this domain name to a IP. So inside Kubernetes cluster, DNS will look for the IP of this domain. So it will see some public IP, and this public IP is not available, or like whatever IP is having that domain is not available inside Kubernetes cluster. Then that means the request can't be served inside Kubernetes cluster. Okay, and I tried this example. From the screenshot you can say that you can see that I did ns lookup, and here is the DNS resolver IP 10.100.0.10, and this IP belongs to one of my uh, this IP belongs to IP from range of service IPv4 range, which is this like inside Kubernetes cluster in my EKS or in your EKS cluster. If you just click on the cluster name, go to the networking tab, and there you will see that service IPv4 range. So the my service IPv4 range was 10.100.0.0/16. So this IP was taken from that IP range. It won't be the IP from the VPC CIDR IP range. Okay, so here you can see this is the cube DNS IP, which is resolving the google.com to some public IPv4 and public IPv6, and this IP is not available inside cluster. So as I said, that request will be forwarded to upstream DNS resolver. But how this will happen? So as I said that pod has a um, network interface, and node also has a network interface. So the request will be forwarded to the node to check if this can be resolved further. So when the request will be coming to the node to check by upstream DNS resolver, which will be our VPC DNS resolver. Okay, inside our VPC we have the VPC DNS resolver, which is this IP. Basically, if my IP CIDR range of the VPC is 172.31.0.0/16, then .2 of that IP range will be the DNS resolver of that VPC. So once the request is routed to the node, and the VPC DNS resolver checks that this IP belongs to a public IP, which is not available in inside VPC, and there must be some subnets and route tables also. So as per the rules in the route tables, you will see that if this is a public IP, then request will be routed through a NAT gateway, and then the request will reach to its destination. So that's what I have written here, that request destination IP is not available within AWS VPC after checking the route tables rules, because first of all it will look through the rules if that IP can be found inside VPC, and if that IP is not looked into the VPC, and in subnets there are rules, basically first rule, second rule, third rule. So every rule is evaluated, and based on that the request is forwarded to the internet or forwarded to the destination inside VPC. So as this will be the public IP, it will be forwarded to the NAT gateway, and from NAT gateway to internet gateway, and internet gateway to the google.com and to the IP. So this is how this request is served. So this video is basically was about how the kube DNS and the VPC DNS works together to forward a request to the internet. This is something very basic we don't care about, but in interview when someone asks that how this works, how that works, you fail to answer, and this is where you get rejected. So if you care a little and understand the basics, you won't be rejected. And I will request you to subscribe this channel and stay tuned, so that I can get motivated to upload more such videos about basics, about Kubernetes, and about more interview questions that I ask in my day-to-day interview that I take for some hiring purpose. Okay, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.